Hi guys, my name is Meads. This is going to be a review for SH Figuarts Yoshi. This is an awesome companion for Mario, and it's always cool to have Yoshi, especially in games. Kind of helps out Mario with various things, swallowing enemies, or just giving that extra boost to jump on over a ledge or somewhere. Anyways, we'll have Mario here in a bit later on to interact with Yoshi. As you can see, he can ride Yoshi. Really cool. Here's the box art. I got mine from Untitled Hobby. Provide the link down below if you're interested. And inside gives us a lot of accessories and gives us an option to actually have his tongue stick out, which is cool. And from our recall from Super Smash, he swallows his enemies and chugs them out in eggs. And the other ones here, that's from another playset which I have and I will review eventually. No, I think that's the one I reviewed along with red pipes. I think that might be it. I think when I reviewed Luigi. Anyways, let's take a look inside. Alright, let's start first with the character base here. Kind of like standard with Mario, and I think Luigi has this too. But you get a little stubby here, as opposed to the longer one or the standard like 2 sections. So you only get 1 section, and this will just work out for Yoshi here. Again, might need to use a screwdriver. Just kind of loosen up this screw here. There we go. Otherwise, I mean, you can force it, but and there's a peg connection right underneath. There we go. Doesn't seem to be a good connection. Alright, I think I got it. And kind of just lower it down, or kind of have him floating. There we go. That looks great. Let me just adjust my camera. Yeah. You can have Yoshi just like that. Otherwise, just looking at this one, we can look at the articulation. We have the neck here, and actually you can pop this whole neck out. It's a straight peg there. A little short though. And allows you to move his whole mouth up. Open up his jaw. There we go. Kind of cool. And all along with this, we can pop out his eyes. And there is a separate piece right here. So this one is looking on his right. This one is more in the middle. So we're just gonna pop this out this way. And you only get 2 eyes. Kind of wish there's another one looking on the right. But since it's a side scroller thing, I don't think Yoshi needs to look on the other side. But here we go, just in case you want a Yoshi looking straight forward. This doesn't really give him much movement on the neck. Let me see, try this. Nope. And likewise, when you move his mouth up, you need to have a little bit more clearance on the backside here. Oh wait, oh, I just found that out. You can actually push to the back, and that gives you a little bit more clearance. Nice. Although I'm gonna revert back to the other eyes here. That way we can see him. There we go. I don't think you can move the nose at all. Other than that, let's just pop this out. There is another gimmick for the tongue. We're just gonna pop this out. I think at first it's kind of hard to take out this tongue. There we go. Or that section of the mouth. Then we have this elongated one. It's quite long. But here we go. Pop that in. And you got the tongue there. And you got Yoshi reaching out for pretty much anything. Let's see what I have props here. Well, let's have the Goomba here. Have him swallow it, or the shells. But yeah, really nice. And for those who are wondering how long is that tongue, well, let's first measure Yoshi. Yoshi is about 4.5 inches in length. The tongue is about 3 3/4 long. That's quite a good reach. Alright, next up we have the arm here. It's actually quite great. Got that articulation there. And I got wrist joints here. So plenty of movement, and you can definitely have a lot of gesture for Yoshi, which is great. On the back here we have the shell. Actually, we'll go over that in a bit. And now we have the leg here. Get a bit of a joint there. Same thing here. There we go. We can have a Yoshi sitting down. Yeah, quite nice. This is really cool. We're moving on. There's actually another pair of hands, the open ones, aside from the closed fist. So let's start with this one, and forgot to mention, you cannot move the tail at all. He cannot wag his tail. It's molded in. So we got this open hand here for the right. There we go. And for the left, yeah, there is another hand with comes with an egg, which we've seen. But as you can see here, I was kind of stubborn and wanted to see if we can actually remove the egg. And you cannot remove the egg. This is what happened. So there's a straight peg going in, might have been glued in place, or I'm not sure if you can actually remove it. Yeah, and I'm breaking the peg. So it's a straight peg with a little bit of a notch on one side to kind of hold it in place. And this is for the left hand. Now the question is, what if you want to hold it with the right? Or either way. I kind of wish they've made that possible, but that involves molding another hand with another peg. And I don't think it's going to work that way. So this is supposed to be here. And let's do some experiment with magnets, and let me demonstrate it here, and hopefully it works out the way I wanted it to. Let's do it. Alright, so before we get started, I just want to put a disclaimer out there, and more than likely a lot of kids are watching this review. If you are a kid out there, make sure that you're with an adult, either your parents, your brother, or your sister, or your guardian, to help you out doing this little modification on your Yoshi, because it involves using a bit of sharp tools here and there, and you're going to be using super glue as well. So be mindful and also be careful. So what do we need? First thing we need is you need to have some sort of a drill. I have a micro pin vise. A vise is something that holds something in place, and this is a micro vise. So you tighten this, it holds this drill bit in place. The drill bit is about 3 millimeters. That is basically the diameter of the magnet I'm using right here. Neodymium magnets right here. And I buy a bunch of these. These are great for doing modifications, and just a great things to have. So I have 2 of them here, and you also need a hobby knife. You can use my hobby knife is a little different here. It's a ceramic. I just need this to clean off the surface of wherever we're going to be working on, and we need to use some super glue. And this kind of helps as we drill a hole, put the magnets in there, and keep it in place. Alright, so let's put the magnet somewhere safe, you know, something magnetic. Let it stick there so we don't lose it. Alright, and the first thing I usually do is actually put the magnet, and because I have a bunch of these drill bits, and I can't remember which one's 3 millimeters. They're not labeled or engraved on the drill bit itself, so just gotta size it up. Alright, so put that aside. Let's go observe this. So we're gonna be drilling here, but let's start with this one here. And we're just gonna clean this. Now I'm cutting this towards my finger, which is gonna be not a best way to demonstrate. It's supposed to be outward, but that's how I use my hobby knife. And the great thing about ceramic, it does not cut my finger at all, even if I do this. Nope. It's not that sharp enough, but sharp enough to do some trimming. So do not attempt what I'm doing with a regular hobby knife, unless you've experienced this. just in general, don't. So let's usually clean this off, make it nice and smooth. There we go. Same thing with this one. This one is, we probably don't need to. Yeah, that's gonna be good enough. Alright, so we're gonna start drilling. Let's start on this one here. Just get it in the center. Sometimes you might have to use a smaller drill bit just to get it started. Then once you get the center, yeah. Because the problem with this one, it's the drill is big. And just take your time. This is a manual method. Some of you might think, why not just use a Dremel? Dremel is the electrical, yeah, drill. And there we go. Just take your time and drill away. And make sure you're centered for the most part. Right. So I got some in there. And let me get the magnet here. It's going to be a little hard. And, well, so let's see here. Will it stick? Try to measure how deep this. It's probably not deep enough. All right, we're just gonna keep going. Not too deep though, unless you can stack the magnets and make them stronger too. But that magnet there's. Whoa. Hold on, the eggs is rolling about my table, and we gotta retighten this. There we go. There we go, keep drilling. Actually, sometimes it's best to use something smaller than the diameter of your magnet because you tend to wiggle it about. Just bear with me. That's probably good. Alright, and let's go ahead and clean that up just a little bit. That's probably a good size there. Again, just kind of clean it around. Then the next part is putting some super glue on and putting the magnets. Now for the magnets, let me just get a... There we go. It's actually a lot easier to put it in a flat than push it down. And here we go. Alright, so get some super glue here. I'm using Loctite's gel control. For some weird reason I like this glue. Just a little bit actually, not too much. And push it in. Oh. There we go. And we're gonna take that off later on. I think I might have added too much glue. Alright, let me just pry that off. There we go. So we got one magnet here and leave it there. Kind of let it dry. There's going to be excess glue on your fingers and whatnot. Get some paper towel and wipe that off as quickly as possible. The gel control actually gives you a little bit of time to play with it. Just a little bit of time, but the excess glue will still mess up certain things. Anyways, that's done for that part. Let's look at the hand. Where is the hand? Oh, there we go. We're gonna do the same thing here. And let's give it a try. Alright, so here goes nothing. I'm gonna go ahead and drill here. And seems like this is going to be the same size as the peg connection. So it's going to be a little tricky. Make sure that's centered. I usually use my thumb as a guide, but just do it gently. Sometimes the drill bits are actually quite sharp, and doing this actually might cut your thumb. It's interesting, I'm showing all this and without much safety precautions. But again, I've been using a drill bit, and I'm actually quite proficient on it. There we go. Sometimes one of my concerns is when you're doing this on other figures that sometimes it's a hollow section and your drill just goes straight. And that's when you gotta be careful, because if you don't have anything on the back to push back on that magnet, it's gonna be a little troublesome making it stay there. Otherwise, just the magnet will just go through. Alright, so here we go. I'm not sure if that's enough. The thing is, that's another thing. When you put in the magnet, sometimes you don't really need to put the glue in first. It stays. But same time, you can never be sure. Alright, so I think that's good. And since that magnet is all the way in, I think, yeah, that's good. Grab your other magnet, make it stick there. And that's another thing. You want to make sure that the polarity is on the right side, otherwise it's not gonna work. Alright, this time let's add a little bit of glue, just a little bit. I add too much on the other side, or on the egg. Just a pint, or like a drop. There we go. And usually, again, I put the other magnet, that way I know which polarity it is. And sometimes it's not letting me, well, there's a, I'm doing this the other method, which is trying to push it in, and I got my finger stuck with the glue. That's just wonderful, isn't it? Alright, I'm gonna try this again. It's one of those, when you're trying to do this in camera, it's a little harder. So just bear with me. Alright, so you gotta make sure which side is which. Let's put it in here. There we go. It's a little lopsided, but use your screwdriver and kind of just press it in there. And, well, you gotta worry about the magnetism too. Alright, I think I got it in there with a little bit of glue in my fingers. That's always nice, right? And it's, what the heck happened there? Went on one side. Let me fix this. Alright, so I had to kind of realign it, cut a little bit more, make it flushed. And let's try it. So we get the magnet on both sides, put it on, and actually this way it works quite well. But once you start tilting it, actually, yeah, it's actually not bad. Although I kind of find that the egg kind of falls down. Yeah, it's probably not strong enough. And it depends on which magnet. There's like an N rating. Can't remember if mine is N35, but the higher the number, the magnets are actually a little bit more expensive, but it's a lot stronger too. So if that's the case, and actually there's a little bit more gap there, you grab another one. There we go. And yeah, it will be just holding it in place. So there we go. Here's the magnet, the egg magnet, detachable, and just, yeah, a lot better now. Also, I want to add that if ever you want to clean this up a little bit more, you can always paint on top of that. Maybe add a little bit of putty, just a really thin putty. Again, with magnets, the farther away the distance, the strength actually exponentially decreases as well. So you want to make sure they're in contact. But you probably can put like a really thin layer of paint there, same color, and maybe put some a really good top coat, because the friction of them hitting each other over time will rub off that paint there is one there. Same thing with this side here. But for me, I mean, this works as long as, you know, it stays in place. And remove the egg. There we go. So that's my quick guide with the magnets. Alright, moving on to the last gimmick, the back. Alright, so for us to make this work, maybe best to remove the head for now and pop this out here. Actually, I did read in the instruction that there's a possibility that the paint will rub off. It kind of does already. Right, so we're gonna just slide this out. You can. There's actually a hinge here, but once we get this out, you'll see it. There we go. Just go this way, or that way. There we go. So there is a hinge there, which allows you to move this, or just gonna slide this in and out. And they actually give us two. There we go. And one of them is for Luigi, the other one is for Mario. And also for other, I guess. I mean, they may make Waluigi or Wario. Who knows? So I'm guessing this one is for Mario, since he has a little bit of wider. Just my guess. Push this in, and there we go. Let's put back Yoshi's face or head, and let's put Mario. There's no other peg connection other than he's just gonna, yeah, snugly, whoops, almost snugly, and just gonna have to get the feet right. I think that's it. I still have the peg connection there. Alright, let's try this approach. So let's put it on to the base first. Boy, give us a little bit more support. Then put Mario here. It's not really a good... yeah, I'm trying at different angles here and there. It's not giving me what I wanted to. Actually, it's okay, that's good to know. It's a joint there. Try and imitate the one on the box where it's jumping. That's good enough. Put this on here. You gotta have to do some balancing. It's not gonna be perfect. And even just getting him to look on one side, you're gonna have to tilt the whole waist. There we go. I do apologize. I am a bit lazy to grab the other hands. But it works just the same. And we put the neck here. As I struggle some more. There we go. Alright, I got Mario on the back. The saddle kind of works for the most part. Again, you gotta have to balance him. I'm not sure how well the paint holds while you're doing a lot of rubbing there. But there you go. You got Mario riding Yoshi. Quite great. Yep. And that sums up the review for Yoshi. And again, this is really amazing. I really enjoyed this figure. The accessories and articulation they put on her just makes it worthwhile getting. Because you're able to put her in a lot of different poses. And kind of goes along with interacting with the different playsets with the SH Figuarts, Super Mario, and along with the other characters. So definitely, if you're a big fan of Yoshi, pick this up. And the only thing, my gripe on this figure is, I kind of wish the egg is detachable, which I actually done so with this little mod with the magnets here. Yep. And if you're a little adventurous and want to give it a shot, go for it. And again, be careful. Anyways, that's it for my review for Yoshi. Hope you guys like it. And again, I got mine from Tatsu Hobby. I'll provide the link down below if you are interested. So until then, this is Meads. Thanks for watching. Actually, I just found out you can detach the tongue also. There we go. Maybe we should stick some magnets here. Have this stick out like this. We'll see.